What's up, everybody? It's your boy Canelo here with another video, and today the topic of the video is how sometimes you gotta disregard your emotions, especially if you got stuff and you got like a lot of tasks and priorities to do. There's gonna be days where you don't feel like it. I think that's a lot of days, or days where you have a headache and you want to take it easy. Those days I understand, but real big, not letting yourself off the hook, especially if it's things that are gonna push the little forward, right? I realized too, sometimes you're gonna have to use like some kind of like external motivation. Your mom is motivation, or your family, your little brother, a sister, whoever it is or whatever it is. Like sometimes that's the case. Now, you can't use yourself as the motivation, right? Sometimes you gotta use like some other people, like, no, I gotta do it for them, I gotta do it for my family, and in some cases, whatever it takes for you to get that task done, that's what you gotta do. Me, for example, I worked as a welder for a real long time. I say like close to 10 years, and it was never a job that but now the industry, and especially where I'm at now in Nebraska, it's real slow, and it's not what it used to be. There used to be like a lot of work for us to do. I have an associate's degree, and that doesn't exempt you from sweeping the floor, so because everything got slow, it just got real long, saying something, you have the power to do that. It might take some sacrifice here, or time with your loved ones, or with your girlfriend, right? And everything is gonna take a sacrifice. Struggle either way, so I went back to school to become a personal trainer, a lot of things, and so now myself to get out of my comfort zone, right? In steel shops, and I need to get into a gym or a nutrition store or somewhere where I can get my foot in the door in the health and fitness industry, and there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, go back to being a welder. It goes back, and it's like you left that for a reason, right? So like, what is the point of taking a few steps forward and then you take a few back? So like, that just reminds me of being like a hamster on a wheel. Important thing, like, as a man, like, you need to have decisive. A decision, you gotta be as sure as you can decision, because you don't want to be indecisive. Or like inner turmoil starts, you don't know if you're making the right decision or you want to do something else. I could give right there is you got to make the best decision you feel, right decision you'll figure out in the future. The way it's a struggle, but those decisions, right, career, to change your environment, right, self in a position where it's gonna be tough, where it sacrifice, right, bro, you don't necessarily learn the lesson, right? If you decide to learn the lesson, so fault in an error, right? But there is a fault if you don't learn the lesson in the error, and a lot of people do that. I've done it in the past. The older I get, I try to minimize it. There's gonna be times where you don't feel like it, where you think it's gonna be easier to go back, right? And just remember, there's a reason why you felt how you felt, and there's a reason why you decided to make that decision. There's always gonna be growth when you put yourself in those situations. You make mistakes, but error is not in the mistake itself. The error is not learning from the mistake. You're gonna feel a whole lot better, if you struggled, you sacrificed, and you look back and you're like, damn it, I did it. I'm gonna get it done, and I did, and you're gonna be able to look back and you're gonna be proud of yourself. It's all right to struggle, it's all right to change, but just make sure you change for the better. And it's all right to have like that inner resistance, right? But then sometimes you just gotta tell yourself it's time to man up, and get the job done, So topic for the video. You know, there's gonna be a lot of times when you don't want to do things, especially the things, I don't know why it is in human nature for us to be like this, but we always procrastinate and we always find it harder to do the things that are gonna benefit us, right? It's always easier to do the things that are gonna drag you down. It's always harder for you to do the choice, right? Or to make the choice that's gonna help you in the long run, but it's always harder to do it. If you could take it from somebody who is there right now and has been there in the past, you're always gonna grow more if you decide to struggle, if you stay in the struggle, right? And you just wait it out and you see what lesson there's to be learned. So with that being said, fellas, it's your boy Young Nello. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys take it easy, all right?